Hello and welcome to another Housemarque Developer Let's Play episode. Today we're playing Sonic Adventure DX. This is a Steam game based off of an original Dreamcast game, and it happens to be the director's cut. Today with me are Tommy and Jarno. You guys apparently played this game a bunch in the past.
Yeah, on the DX when it was published first.
The Dreamcast version from 2000 and something, am I correct? Nobody can remember the exact dates and details for that.
98.
98? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was already on that side, but yes, you may be correct that it was on that glorious 90s, late 90s side. So, getting into the game is a bit different from the original Sonic games, which were side-scrolling platformers. What can you tell me about this game, and how has it gained your interest?
Well, this was one of those games that we played a lot on the old office back then, while we were developing, I think, the Supreme Snowboarding. Yeah. And I don't really know why. I guess this is one of the first kind of 3D platformers.
Yeah, besides the Nintendo 64.
So can you
Mario 65.
can you compare this to Mario 64 in some way, that it has similar structure, playing around in the game world more outside of the levels in these kind of hubs where you can talk to people and so on, or
Yeah, it's a bit more story driven in that way.
it has that let's say
Well, kill this guy first.
try to kill this chaos. Are they aliens or?
No, it's I think it was like there are the Chaos Stones and they sort of mutate things, and that's like just a water
Mutation.
water thing and go by the Chaos Crystal thing.
Oh.
Okay. Your turn.
And now it's your turn. So we're playing actually so that whenever you die, you switch the player. You guys usually play it like that, taking turns. So it makes
Yeah, on
sense.
the Dreamcast they was like proper
Yeah.
two-player game.
Right, exactly.
It's been ages since I played this.
For some reason, it seems that this PC version didn't have the option to play with two players. I think the original actually worked so that you could select a character
Again.
for another character for the
Second
for the
player.
other player. Yeah.
Right.
But,
You guys were briefly before we were making the video. You started talking about some of the textures and things like that in the game. What's sort of very defining factors of the game looks in terms of that era of gaming, like?
well, of course you can see a lot of tiling there. So basically no detail textures, and
So you multiply these tiles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's sort of reminiscent of even Amiga or the 2D games where you have tiles.
I love the not so nice camera angles sometimes.
Yeah. They really brought something new, and they really brought it to the extremes.
That was the normal problem with the 3D platformers. The cameras always they didn't have another stick to control the camera because the Dreamcast only had one analog joystick, so
Right.
there's no way to adjust
So
the
the
camera that
hardware defined a lot of the playability of that era also. It's funny to play these games because, you know, for a lot of people who haven't seen them, it's a bit clunky, and I guess, you know, going back from the twin stick era to single sticks and even just a D-pad, it's sometimes you forget that we didn't always have the modern controllers, so it's difficult to control the games.
Yeah, actually the first time I picked this controller and started this game, I was wondering why doesn't it control, and then I remembered that okay, it wasn't actually programmed like that.
Exactly.
Okay, well, there are a lot of kind of awkward animations here, so I think we'll
skip
them.
some of them.
Yeah.
But they're still really a part of the whole Sonic Adventure universe.
Yeah.
Did you guys play the original, like Sonic the Hedgehogs on Master System and Mega Drive? And
Yeah, actually I haven't ever been much of a fan of those.
So this was.
Yeah, for some reason this was the first.
Oh, and that's like a place where you don't even you can't die there. It's one of those things.
No, I'm sorry.
But at least we're getting more switching up with the players.
Yeah.
Exactly. So okay, the visual world is something that sort of really brings back a lot of games like Virtua Fighter. They had that cop shooting game for Sega Saturn. Virtua Cop, I was thinking, I guess. And there's a lot of Sega titles that had this. I guess they shared an engine or something at that point, because you really had to design the graphics according to the specs that you got from the hardware.
Yeah.
So I guess Dreamcast games, it's not a wonder that they share this sort of visual style. And Sonic Adventure was one of the first games to come out on Dreamcast. Well, Dreamcast didn't have that long of a lifetime to begin with, but there was a few gems within the lineup that I think Sonic Adventure was definitely one of. Power Stone, and can you think of any other? Choo Choo Rocket and.
Choo Choo Rocket was one of my favorites. And actually, now that I think of it, I think the reason that we were playing this game so much was that Housemarque was actually planning to develop a game for Dreamcast.
Right.
But it never got to it.
Never panned out.
No.
So there was some research involved there also.
Yeah, and I guess this was one of the first ones that came out.
And this time we were, of course, making Supreme Snowboarding game, so...
It's the part where you can't
press
the
anything, but it's still a very visual, cool thing. I think a lot of people remember, and also it was used in the marketing during that time.
Do that.
Almost any picture you saw from this game had any kind of article in the magazines, the printed magazines that we used to have back in the day. That killer whale thing was always there.
Yeah.
I remember that too.
Very cinematic.
Exactly, it was like, now the games will be like movies type thing. And it's funny how they got it into the game like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for me at least, it's in a similar space as Mario 64. Mario, of course, having a more defined platforming element, not as much running around.
Yeah, this is almost a racing game.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Not that much of a platformer, really.
And it did define. There was a Sonic 3D game before this. I think Sonic 3D Blast on the Genesis, and then there's some on the Saturn. But this sort of defined the Sonic 3D games for the generation to come. And even current Sonic 3D games sort of, to some extent, follow this formula.
Yeah. And now I'm trying to get
the
sneakers, but
it's not letting you go up there.
Sneaky, yeah.
Again, the camera angles.
The camera off.
So close, but so far.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny to see that some of the modern Sonic games, which we haven't played that much of, do follow the same formula. They've also tried to add some of the 2D feel, so they have fixed camera scenes that.
You'll
fans,
never get it.
Yeah.
You'll never get it.
But I did get the extra things from there, and
I thought it was Tails for a while. It was just an orange monkey or enemy or something.
Okay, now there's this small critter.
Yeah.
I think on the original the idea was that they somehow lived in this.
Yeah, in the memory.
Yeah,
the memory unit had its own display, so you could collect them and you can actually nurture them.
It was kind of like.
So there was.
It's like a Pokemon thing.
Yeah, you could have them because that was very unique for the Dreamcast hardware to have this sort of a memory card that had a screen, and you could bring it with you, and it had. You could separate it from the controller.
Yeah.
And then it instantly got the information from the game when you played it. Yeah. So some things that we sort of miss, but then again, nowadays we could have an iPhone app and basically do the same stuff. But we haven't really seen that many like Tamagotchi type companion apps, if you will.
Yeah.
It's something that I think people are looking into, and there's all kinds of companion apps, but they're a bit more geared to the modern taste in mobile games, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll see in the future a Sonic app that you can download your companions to. What's happening here?
Yeah, I dropped down.
He's trying to collect all of those.
Yeah, I just want to collect a bit more.
Back in the day, we played this so much that we were basically every one of us was expert on this game.
So when you get together now, you sort of remember where to go, what to collect, and so on.
Yeah.
No, and that's why I keep
Well, at
going
least
back
for
and
this-
forth all the time. But
At least
sort
for
of,
this level, I think it's pretty familiar. But it seems that we have lost the touch.
yeah.
Well,
completely.
it's already over 15 years, going almost on 20 years since probably the last days that you played this.
Yeah.
But it's funny how the games do last in your memory, and you have an idea of where to go, how to do. I think a lot of people now, if they started this game, be it younger or be it somebody who hasn't experienced it before, it's still a game that's hard to get into. You don't have the same amount of patience as back in those days.
Perhaps, and of course the what just happened?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you
at least the
dropped
last
down
one, but
right.
it's not. Oh.
Some screen
Yeah, the
issues
camera
there.
got stuck on an angle. I think there was something here.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, this is what I was talking about just now. When compared to modern games where you have open spaces and these kind of in between battles kind of things.
And environments to go.
Yeah, this differs in a fundamental way that you don't have a map.
Right.
Any kinds of guides.
Indicators of where
Yeah.
to go, blinking
Yeah.
lights, like, hey, go here.
Yeah.
It's very different from a lot of the games. So I think design principles have changed. Maybe not for the better, but for the user friendliness has
Yeah.
definitely become a thing of today. And I think a lot of the now you get to rescue Tails. But that being said, I think at least the games you play, you have fond memories for. You want to kind of go back to those. But for somebody to enter these games now, it might feel a bit out of place from the modern perspective.
You're too good of a pilot to just crash like that.
Oh, this is so painful.
The voiceovers.
Yeah, because we had a Japanese Dreamcast imported and we had this in Japanese, so it feels really weird to hear it dubbed into English.
Exactly. Especially Tails' voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, but that being said, this is something that's for you guys. Even had that special experience of having the Japanese voices. I don't think everybody had, and we tried to turn on the Japanese voiceovers, but of course, maybe it's something that the PC version developers didn't think of putting in. A lot of the Japanese games now do have that option to turn it on.
Let's skip this thing.
Let's try this.
I think it's
Nope.
the square
Option.
from yeah.
It would have been cool if it was unskippable too, so making it even that much better.
You know where to go. This is what I was talking about. You don't have
There's
any,
no-
any kind of indication.
There's no HUD of any kind,
No.
but you can. There's not even an indicator that you can talk to the people. The only indicator is when you go next to these TV screens that are floating,
Yeah.
that there's some kind of interaction
They-
available.
And casino is
A lot
not
of-
open. Yeah, it tells me casino is not open, and from there you go to casino, but it's not open yet. So let's go
So you
out
have
on the
to.
street.
Do you have to wait around for a while, or?
Yeah, after a few levels, the time passes on and it opens.
I think you have to go to Emerald Coast first. Or
Yeah,
So
I have
what
to go
was-
to the station to.
So clearly, you guys
Some
have some
train.
kind of memories of
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
the progression goes here.
The park thing is nice, but it's gonna take us a while to get there. Station is not that one. Is this one?
I can just
So, yeah,
imagine,
Yeah, it's this one.
That's the place.
as a new player to this game, trying to look and search for the places to go to. A lot of trial and error, probably.
Yeah, this
part of the
wandering
process.
around was frustrating back then.
It's.
Even
It's
so.
already back then.
I'm sure it's going to be frustrating even now. Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
so
it's
Mystic ruins. Yeah.
so you kind of find these locations, and then you need to go to them, and then at some point you get to trigger something to start the level.
Yeah.
Or you can keep talking to people and they will eventually tell where you might want to
Right.
go. But
Right.
Oh, there's a nice example of what you were talking about earlier, the lack of skinning.
yeah, all the
Tails Workshop
Yeah,
should
and
be
you have
around
the-
here somewhere.
chips, all the characters are made from. Let's see if you can see it's all individual blocks and they just
Yeah,
move the
separate
blocks.
limbs.
So all the blocks are just
Yeah,
moving.
so there's no
in
skimming
unison.
like to connect the joints.
Exactly.
Except
exactly.
in Sonic, but I have a feeling Sonic is just a keyframed animation, like just leveraging like code controller and everything.
Okay, let's see if we can find Dr. Eggman.
so it might be.
So you get to fight Dr. Robotnik,
Yeah.
Dr. Eggman for the first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it isn't Sonic!
He's got pretty good voiceover though, I guess.
Yeah.
But you know, they're trying to recreate these franchises for the new generation, and there's going to be a TV show about Sonic again.
Oh.
So these characters live forever, but it'd be funny to see somebody who's really connected to that, and they get back to for games like this, for example, and be like, yeah, you know, when we were younger, this is the kind of, you know, Sonic looked like this, and Tails sounded like a little kid, and
When I was young, Sonic was 16 by 16 pixel.
exactly. This is by many standards the modern Sonic, if you will. So there's always so many iterations. But even with Mario, there's the first 3D Mario. So you kind of remember 2D Marios for a long time, and then 3D was a different Mario with a different world, and it did open up the gaming scene in a whole different way.
It's Mario. I had Sonic with the Hoover shoes.
Oh yeah.
Bit over the ground always. Oh,
Do you have any
no,
memory on
just
how to beat him?
No, you just evade and then it comes slamming and you jump
Oh, right.
toward you and then
So
bounce
basically,
back.
just evade him until
Until now and then.
Now you can jump.
Jump and
Jump attack.
Yeah.
There you go.
But you
got
get the
some
idea.
Yeah.
So even here you have a fixed camera, and then you have this kind of a round area where you can run around. Very much something that is defined because you didn't have twin sticks. You couldn't control the camera at all.
No, you have to jump from. Can I?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I need a couple of rings first. So every time you get hit, you lose the rings, and if you have 0 rings, then it's.
Then you can die,
Yeah,
which is
then
the
you die.
classic Sonic gameplay component from even the original 2D Sonics. Like he's about to blow up
Now
here.
it's gonna take another.
Oh, second phase?
Oh, yes.
No, there we go.
Are we
Yeah.
playing on the easy or something? Oh yeah, this is the first time. Yeah, there's gonna be a second
Oh,
time.
right,
And it's
yeah.
gonna take. Something.
Escapes.
And
I actually
evolves.
played through all the thing like ages ago.
So, guys, quick recap. What's very cool about this Era Sonic visually, and why don't we maybe see that anymore? Like, how has the modern way of making games evolved from here? Do you have any comments on that?
That's a tough one.
Well, it was not Dreamcast, and Dreamcast was like it was the first console that had like good, nice 3D graphics chip.
Yeah.
So you get a nice billionaire filtering all the textures and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Exactly.
Especially compared to PlayStation 1, which was like
Yeah. This doesn't have
slightly crude.
wobbly textures.
Yeah.
That's a big bonus first.
So this was like the high end of its time.
Yeah, it
then.
was because it was the first of the then next gen consoles coming out, so it was by far the best graphics
Exactly.
until PS2 and Xbox came out.
Right on. So, if we can kind of wrap up the experience here, Sonic Adventure has been something you guys played a lot, and Housemarque was a big part of kind of experimenting with the 3D elements there and seeing if there would be possibilities in making games for that. That didn't pan out, but then again we made some other awesome games that were also 3D, so clearly there could have been some learning experiences involved, even with the Sonic Adventure series. So, thanks for playing. This has been another Housemarque developer Let's Play with a slight look into the games that we like and why we play them. We'll be back later on with more episodes, and this is one of the first Sonic experiences in 3D that we managed to play, and we'll see if we can get more of those later on. Alright, thanks guys.